The following program does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Heading up 35, one way we're headed at 90K. Over the two-lane causeway, we'll go left, it's gonna be a classy day. Kickstands down, head on over to the band stage. Kick back and listen to the band play. Whoa, whoa, let's take a ride today. Whoa, whoa, across the causeway. Rockin' day. Whoa, the classy chassis way.
Good evening and welcome to this House of Musicians with your host, singer, songwriter, and founder of the band, Inner City Outlaws, the Baritone Bear, Mr. Barry Smith, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email right now. Our email address is thishouseofmusicians@gmail.com or instudio101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your host of this House of Musicians, Barry Smith.
Hey, welcome everybody to this House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us as we do our small part to help promote musicians, bands, and of course, venues when they come back on, when everyone starts playing live again, of course. But Gary, how are you?
I'm fine, Bear. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I got a couple of great guys on the show tonight. I have Wolfe Milestone and an old friend who actually recorded my very first CD, the Country Kid CD, when I was, in my early 20s. I have Dennis Brunet. So say hello to Wolfe and Dennis.
Hello there, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. We're very honored and happy to be here.
Excellent.
Absolutely. And how are you guys doing? Good? Wolfe, let's start with you. I know it's when you have two guys on the show, it kind of gets a little tricky with speaking at the same time. So I'll just talk to each one of you individually as we get started. Wolfe, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Barry. Now, if we had this computer going properly, I would see the red light come on for my turn to speak.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Wolfe, let's just talk real quick. I do want to speak with Dennis, of course, as well. But you grew up in Holland Landing. Let's talk about your childhood in Holland Landing and how you went about, learning how to like music and singing along to the songs. And let's start right from there.
Well, you betcha. Well, as a young child, of course, with a family of five, I'm the oldest of five. We lived in Holland Landing, and we had no TV at the time back then. So my mother, we had the radio, but my mom played the piano. So while she was playing the piano, she would have us sit beside her, and she would kind of teach us different parts of the scales and the harmony lines and stuff like that. And as I got older, I remembered all that, and it just came so natural to me. And I thank my mother to this day, for having that inspiration and inspiring me to keep singing and singing. Then as I got older, Well, in grade 6, I started my first band. And but back then, Barry, I was playing drums. And we were all set to do a gig at a library, and the bass player phoned in sick, and one of our friends was a drummer, so I said, well, I'll try playing the bass, and that was my first time trying the bass, and I never looked back after that. And then I still play a little bit of piano and guitar and the bass and drums, of course. But Dennis is the drummer of the band. We call him Thumper for short.
Absolutely. Dennis has been a wonderful drummer for many, many years. Dennis, let's talk about how you got started into music, where you grew up, how you got onto the drums, and what kind of music were you listening to, when you were younger and you first got into music?
Okay, Barry, I started when I was about 9 years old, and I started in a little place called Cochrane, Ontario, which is northern Ontario, which is basically 500 miles north of Toronto. It's where Highway 11 turns west, okay? Started when I was 9, and my older half-brother was a drummer, and he used to leave his drums in the front porch all the time, and I'd come home and bang away at them, and just kept going from there. And there was a couple of guys, there's a lot of French community up there. There's a couple of guys that there was a guitar player, 2 guitar players, and I almost made it to CFCL TV in Timmins, but they got another drummer at the last minute, and that kind of booted me out. But that didn't stop me. I just kept playing, and I just jammed with a whole bunch of people. And there used to be a little hotel in Cochrane called the Alouette Lounge. Used to have bands in all the time, and I'd go there every Friday and Saturday, and I'd sit at the front window, and I'd look at these bands until I was old enough to get in. And That's how I got to meet a lot of bands. They'd be traveling through northern Ontario, and I think I left Cochrane about 4 times with different bands that came in that have changed drummers. And I love it. It's just a great, and I spent like 17 years traveling northern Ontario, playing in every little bar, playing with every band, playing every type of music, like 6-7 nights a week.
Absolutely. And like I was going to mention that you must have played with everybody in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And you're still playing?
Yes, and still, well, maybe not as much now, but hopefully that'll change soon. But actually, my first gig in Toronto was at the Holiday Tavern at Queen and Bathurst with a guy named Lawrence Snow.
Wow. What year would that be?
That'd be going back to probably mid-70s, mid to late 70s.
Amazing.
And Lawrence Snow's guitar player at that time, and Wolf, you may remember him, was a guy named Andy Pick.
Oh, very well.
Yeah, so Wolf, so now you started playing when you were 6, I believe you said, right? Like started singing. What kind of music was your mom playing when you guys were sitting around playing? What songs were they? Do you recall?
Yes, a lot of them, believe it or not, were Christmas carols.
Amazing.
Because I know she wanted me to learn the high parts, the low parts, and the different, scales, 2 harmony lines.
Right.
And I at that time, I was going like, wow, how can that one note turn into 5? And I was simply amazed with that. And then as time went on, getting back to what Dennis was saying with Lawrence Snow and Andy Pick, that's about the times at the same time that I ran into those guys too. And the first time I met Dennis was at the Canada House, and he was with Peter Stiles back then. Yeah. And those were those were the good old days. Like, I mean, sure, you played 6 nights a week, and then a matinee as well. So. It was, and the money then is what is pretty much like the money we're getting now, but it's just for the fun.
It absolutely is. I remember playing the Crossroads, exactly same thing. 7 nights and a matinee, and maybe for I don't know what were we getting, boys? Like $100, maybe $200 each, if that.
If that.
The first time I played the Crossroads was with a fellow named Frankie Starr. Remember him, Dennis?
Oh, yes, I remember Frankie.
Yeah, and my first gig there was a New Year's Eve, and that was in 1976 about 76.
Amazing.
A long time ago. Yeah,
a long time ago, and you're still rocking hard at it. Dennis, let's talk about Shag Studios. I know you owned a studio at one time where a lot of bands would come in and record. As a matter of fact, that my very first cassette that I did, it was called The Country Kid. That's what I was going by back then. I might have been early 20s. You recorded my very first 10 songs that came out on CD. So why don't you talk about how Shag's sound came around?
Well, the Shag sound basically. So I'll tell you the quick thing about Shag sound was I had the name Shag as a band name years before that.
Cool.
And I had a whole promo with the thing and everything, but the guys in the band didn't like the name Shag. So I said, okay, I'll put it on the back burner for now. Once I started getting my recording career together, I needed a name, but I needed a name that was simple to remember, and so Shag sound was born. Started off as a 4-track, then I moved to 8, then I moved to 16. Once I got to Nashville Avenue, there's the kicker, Nashville Avenue, which is where we did your album, Country Kid, with Chef Adams producing, and his son playing drums, Randy.
Well, that's the first time I met Randy.
It was a great little session, and it was. Pardon me?
Yep, go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, and then it was all done through Jack Boswell. He was, I think, it was Heritage Music at Oak Records at the time. And through Jack, I had tons of stuff. I did Roy Payne, I did Dick Knoll, I had Roy Penny, I had a ton of Downey stuff that Jack would have, and I did all his stuff for him. I did all his remasters and everything. And I started to branch out. I had a good friend of ours, Ralph McDowell, come in a few times and play on sessions. Had the great and immortal Smiley Bates in for 5 sessions.
Amazing.
Another great country artist that was kind of under the radar, but everybody knew him. And I just started branching out to different. I started doing blues stuff. I did the Bears tape down there, and we did the Growl on the Blues CD. And a good friend of ours, Kim Doolittle, did a lot of her demo work there, and various other artists. And the whole purpose for the studio was to help musicians and artists get a decent quality sound without breaking the bank.
Exactly.
And that was the whole purpose of it. And I enjoyed it, and I still love doing it today.
I know you do. And how long did you run Shag Sound for?
Shag Sound was, again, it's been about 10, 12 years since the studio closed down because they sold the building. And I kept all the master tapes. I have all the master tapes from all the sessions I have, so I'm just kind of remastering them right now and just getting them, just redoing them and getting them up to date and, on my SoundCloud account, and just, still keeping the names out there, still from all the people that I had.
Well, the thing about music, Dennis, is once you're involved in it and you love it, it sticks with you for your whole life, man. So I'm glad to hear that you're still working with your original masters and remastering them and sending them to all the musicians who recorded with you. That's amazing. Good for you, bud. Wolfie, who are your inspirations? You're welcome. Let's talk with Wolf for 1 sec here. When you were growing up, bud, I know that you have a lot of albums, Wolf, and a lot of nice country music. I know you have a big song out right now that is worldwide known, and we're going to get to that and play it. But who were your inspirations growing up, Wolf?
Well, of course, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Charlie Pride, Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams Sr., of course, because my mom and dad played that over and over and over and over. We went camping. We went camping, and then the ride up to the campsite was over an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So naturally, country music was there, and Elvis, stuff like that. But yeah, everybody from, and then as time went on, into the Bee Gees and Kenny Rogers. There's so many. Alan Jackson. Yeah, but Dennis forgot to mention one fellow there. His name was Jeff Healy, was at the studio there at Shag.
Yes. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Healy's amazing, man. What an amazing player and singer. And he was just, I had the opportunity to meet him once and see him play at Grossman's, and what a treat that was. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Grossman's, yeah.
Yeah, Grossman's.
And then, well, speaking of Dennis, with his mastering mind that he has, he just mastered my new CD that I just put out there about 2 months ago called Back to the Country. And the song is all about, all the hard times in the world, all about the sirens and the fire trucks and stuff like that. So it's called Take Me Back to the Country.
Nice.
And Dennis mastered that. And Dennis mastered that one for me.
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. And so is that the album that Where My Truck Stops is on?
No, this was previous to our project that Dennis and I have gotten into. Luckily for me, Barry, I got to tell you, I was playing and we had an open jam session and we were doing a tribute, and I can't remember who it was for right now, but Dennis and Diane Martin showed up, and Dennis got on stage because I've known Dennis for years, off and on, from the Matador, different places, and people he's played with, and people we've jammed with or whatever. But Dennis came down that day, and after we did that set, I looked at the guys in the band. I said, "There's our new drummer."
Awesome. I bet you were happy, Dennis.
That was the Scotty Wells benefit.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Dennis.
Scotty Wells benefit.
And I said to the guys in the band, "There's our new drummer." And Dennis didn't even leave. I said, "When can you start?"
That's amazing. That's very cool. Well, see, the thing about Dennis is he remembers everything. He just named off Jack Boswell and a bunch of people from back in the day. Now we're going back 35 years probably when when I was in the studio with Dennis, and he's still naming off names from 35 years ago. That's just remarkable. I certainly forget an awful lot of stuff, but good for you, Dennis.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah,
you're welcome. You're welcome, buddy. Wolf, how many originals do you write? Like how many songs do you have that you wrote?
Oh, geez. Well over 300. Well over 300.
And how many do you record? Like you have albums out. How many of them are your original music?
I would say at least 25 of them.
Good for you. Hey, let's just go back quick and talk about now. I know you said you mentioned off, Charlie Pride and Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings. I remember. I just wanted to ask you, when you were going to the camp that took an hour or two to get to, were you like me when I was a kid and it was 8 tracks? I remember my parents playing Charlie Pride 8-track all the time in the car, man.
Yeah,
8 tracks.
That's what they were. Yeah, back then, Dad was. Well, Dad was driving. Mom was the the program director.
Absolutely,
she would put the cassette on that. She would, and of course, every time a song come on, well, Mom started singing. Well, then we all started singing.
Of course, that's amazing, man. That's the way it was back in those days, eh?
Yeah,
I do. I remember. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Yep. So why don't we play one of your songs, Wolf? Now, you wrote this one?
Yeah.
What a great song. Excuse me. What a great song. I've listened to it a couple times today, both songs. And why don't we play the song, hear a shout out from a couple of our sponsors, and then we'll talk about the song itself. How does that sound, Wolf?
Excellent. Sounds excellent.
Good. My friends out there, we have Wolfe Milestone and Dennis Brunet on the show this evening on this House of Musicians. And we're going to play one of Wolf's originals, which I absolutely love right now. This song is called Where My Truck Stops on this House of Musicians right here on Reality Radio 101.
Well, I'm heading down the highway, I don't know where. No set direction, I just don't care where my truck stops. I'll call home. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. Well, I packed up my life in this old pickup truck. I left behind your memories and my bad luck. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. And the wheels on my truck just keep on rolling. As far as I can, I'll keep on going. The tail lights in my mare, the white lines up ahead. The wheels on my truck just keep on rolling. You've always been. You drove me to hell and back again. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. Well, I'm leaving the east and I'm heading west. The further from you will be the best. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. Where my truck stops, I'll call home. And the wheels on my truck just keep on rolling. As far as I can, I'll keep on going. The taillights in my mare, the white lines up ahead. The wheels on my truck just keep on rolling.
Welcome back, folks, to this House of Musicians radio show. We have Wolfe Milestone and Dennis Brunet on the show today, and we just heard one of Wolfe's originals called Where My Truck Stops. Wolfe, what a great production, what a great song, great players on the production itself. Why don't we talk about that song for a little bit here?
Well, you betcha. Well, you know, in life, everybody goes through different things. Breakups or something that's good or bad. But anyways, back then my ex-wife and I broke up, and I was driving out to Vancouver. I didn't know how far I was going to go, and I kept humming this theme or thing in my mind. And as I'm driving, I'm writing the song as I'm driving with the white lines up ahead, the tail lights in my mirror. And so when I finally arrived to Vancouver, I didn't know too many people, so I happened to I met somebody who knew everybody, and his name was Larry J. Brown. And him and I started a band, and we were called Wolfe Milestone and the Coyotes, which was my name for 30, almost 40 years. So long story short, we had a jam at this Legion, and these people were coming in, and I didn't know who a lot of these people were. But Larry knew everybody. And the one fella that came in was Ed Molesky from the Midnight Rodeo Band years ago with Ray McCauley. He signed with he signed with RCA Records. And then Christian Vogart came in, who's a drummer to many people, and his brother played lead guitar for Merle Haggard.
Wow.
So and then if you listen to that song, the fiddle player playing on that song of mine, Where My Truck Stops, is Mike Sanishin from BC. And he was a 5-time fiddle champion out there in BC.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was in good company, and the steel guitarist was Rick Dunn. He's originally from Carolina and worked through Nashville, so he was on my CD as playing steel guitar. So yeah, I was in very, very good company with that song. And to this day, Barry, that song is getting more airplay now than it did years ago.
Wow. When did you record it?
1999.
Wow. That's amazing. Good for you, Wolf.
Yeah. So they say everything resurfaces, and it's funny, a disc jockey, where the heck was it now? I can't think of the name of the place, or the call letters. But it was a little town not too far from Nashville, and he was playing that song, Where My Truck Stops, and then it resurfaced, and the next thing I know, internet, bang, boom. It's like it hasn't stopped. Yeah.
Good for
and
you.
then we were all...
Sorry, go ahead.
And then we were all set to do a big show coming up this summer, just before the COVID hit. Dennis can attest to this. I was associated with the mayor of Brampton out here where I live now, and we were getting all the faculties in order here for a big, like an open house outside jamboree with the release of the new CD. And then the stupid COVID hit, and then everything went on hold.
Everything's on hold, but you're going to still have the release party eventually, correct?
Oh, big time.
Good for you. Now, you did some writing with Waylon West Lane. Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, him and I met years ago. And it's funny how things happen for a reason. We were playing and at the Canada House, and he really liked the band. And he says, I write songs too. So I said, well, I'm a songwriter too. And so we kind of hooked up together. And we wrote about, I would say, 15 songs together. Together, I think we recorded back then 10 of them. Unfortunately, he's passed on now. He was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for a little while.
Well, what a great song you have here. And you know what? We got a couple emails I want to read from some listeners. This is from Hank B. And he says, wow, what a song. Excellent. The lyrics are amazing. The musicianship, pretty amazing. Real country, no BS. This song should be on every real country radio station in the U.S. and Canada. Record labels should pick this song up. Excellent. And that's from Hank B. Thank you, Hank, for the email.
Wow. Incredible. See, you never know, Barry.
You never know, man. The weirdest things happen in this business, that's for sure.
And the studio that I recorded that song out in BC the studio is called Bear Creek Studios.
There you go, eh? We got another email, Bud, from Graham, our friend Graham H. And Graham says, nowadays everybody has earbuds and a sore neck and thumbs. Any relation to Rocky Burnett? I guess this is a question for Dennis. Any relation to Rocky Burnett? And it's from
Nope. Unfortunately, nope. No, I'm the only musical person in my family.
Wow, good for you. That's great. So I got one more email here. This is from Damia H. And Damia says, hi, do these guys have a web presence? So, Wolf, why don't you tell people how they can find your music, where your music's located online, and your bio and all that stuff.
Okay. Again, my name is Wolfe, WOLFE Milestone, and it's .com. And I also have many songs on YouTube as well. And I can give you out my email. It's wolfemilestone@rogers.com. That's wolfemilestone@rogers.com. Well, what else? I'm in a mental block here right now.
You got a new website coming up, Wolf.
Okay. What? Well, yeah, yeah, I do. Sorry, my wife just reminded me that my website is being updated and reorganized, so everything is going to be fresh, because things are happening so much right now from radio stations around the world. This is my second interview in 4 days.
Good for you. That's amazing.
I just did a radio from a DJ down in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Good for you. That's exciting.
Oh, it is.
Good for you, bud. So now, Wolf, what do you think your favorite song is to play on stage?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a ballad guy. The Wonder of You by Elvis Presley. Lock the door and turn the lights down low. Put some music on it soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I like ballads, I really do. But I get into the rock in the 50s and 60s. We have fun. But Dennis he's the biggest rocker in the band. He gets everybody motivated and going. He's a really epic guy on stage. He's a real comedian.
Absolutely. And Dennis, how long have you played with Wolf?
About 10 minutes. I've been with Wolf now. I think it's got to be close to 3 years, or at least almost 4 years. Wolf, something like that.
Yeah, just about 4 years now.
Yeah, just about 4 years.
So you guys did a lot of gigs together.
Oh yes, we did. We did quite a few gigs and stuff like that, and it's always fun playing with guys like Wolf and stuff like that, because as entertainers, it's our job to entertain people, okay? And especially from my point of view, since I'm kind of in the back, I say, okay, but I mean, I love driving the band. I love making sure people are dancing, making sure people are laughing, because that's our job as entertainers. We have to keep the crowds happy.
100%. That's what it's all about, getting the people out to the shows and getting them up dancing and having fun, for sure. Wolf, what's your writing process like? How do you go about writing a song? I know for me, probably, pick up the guitar and record a couple of riffs, not too much, not too long, maybe 30 seconds of a riff, and come back to it a couple of weeks later, perhaps, and turn it into a song if I still like it. What's your writing process?
Well, pretty much the same as yours, Barry. I guess we all had that ingenuity of thinking things over. Like myself, I would sometimes put the music before the words, but I would have a melody in my head, and then I would take the words and put it to music, and then that's where the magic is made, and it's rewarding when after you finish a song. And you get to share it with, somebody or someone, or just to critique it for a bit, see what they think of it, whatever. And so if you like it, then to me that's rewarding. And so all songs aren't successful, but they all mean something in value to each song that you write. Yep,
to each individual, different songs mean different things, that's for sure. A song always means something to somebody. You got that right. So now I'm going to ask both you guys this question. Wolf, I'll start with you. If you had any advice to give to upcoming musicians, what would it be?
Follow your dream. If you have a dream, follow it. Don't let nobody steer you wrong. It doesn't matter what they think; it's what you think. Believe in yourself and just continue what you believe in.
Agreed, 100%. Dennis, if you had any advice to give an upcoming musician, what would it be, bud?
Never give up, Barry. Never give up. I know sometimes we hit rocky roads and things look like they're just not happening at all, but you have to keep the faith, okay? You may have to take the odd turn now and then, maybe time just take a little break from it, but you always come back to it. You always keep that going, because music will never let you down. It's there for you in every form. It's there for you in every part of your life, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whatever's going on in your life, music will always be there. If you look at people, music, a song will bring back a memory. In every single human being on this planet, a song will bring back a memory.
Agreed, 100%. Music's a wonderful thing. Go ahead, Wolf.
I was going to say, that's a good hook. Music is a memory.
You guys have a good song right there.
Yeah. Okay, Dennis. Let's try this. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just saying, because you never know where a hook's going to come from.
You never know where it's going to come from, and you just jot it down and turn it into something. That's the amazing thing about music and poetry and writing songs, isn't it?
Well, Barry, yourself, I mean, I don't know how many songs you have written, but it must be a pleasure for you too, like to write songs, because I've heard a few of your songs, Barry, and they are really good.
Well, that's quite a compliment, Wolf. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, and I mean it, because with you guys, Angel and Mike there, I tell you guys have a good sound.
Thank you so much. They're just amazing to play with. Both Bill Ritchie when he was here, and Angel. Dennis Kahn played on one of my CDs that I made way back when, and he's just a marvelous player and guitar player and a great human being as well. Just like Angel, drummer, keyboard. We've just met so many amazing people along the way, and some stick around and continue to record with you. So I've been blessed that way for sure.
Oh, that's so good to hear, Barry. And speaking of Dennis Kahn, I got to hook up with that guy because he still owes me $5.
Well, that he's probably not going to email in tonight.
No, he's off the list now.
He's off the list. No Christmas card for Dennis.
No, not this year. Not this year. Guys, I got another email from Thomas G. Thomas says, Wolf is lucky Kathy is there with him. Lots of laughs and he does Lost in the 50s tonight and does it well. Good friends, him and Dennis, booked them for years too. Morrow would be proud of these guys. That's from Thomas Graham.
He's one of a kind. Yeah, he's great, Barry. If there's anybody that's in the right business, he's in the right business. This guy's a great guy.
Well, that's
yes,
great
he
to
is
hear.
an amazing guy.
It's always nice to have people behind you that can help you along the way, isn't it?
It sure is.
Definitely.
So, guys, let's start with you, Wolf. Your favorite venue that you've ever played? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of them. I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but what do you think your favorite place is that you've ever played?
Well, Barry, I got to tell you, out in Vancouver, anyways, long story short, I moved to Vancouver years ago, and I spent 20-some years out there. So while I was out there, of course, I created a new life and everything, and music. But there's this festival out there. It's called Merritt Mountain Music Fest. And I had the very, very privilege to have this fella close my show. Mm-hmm. And there was 100,000 people. And this is God's truth. And he closed my show because I started his. Tim McGraw.
Oh, you're kidding, buddy. That's good for you.
Yeah, that's the God's truth. And I always tell people, boy, I feel very honored to have Tim McGraw close my show.
Oh, for sure. That's huge, man. Good for you. That's great.
Yeah, that was
Dennis. Go ahead. That was your favorite. That was your favorite
Barry?
place to play. Yeah, Dennis. What was your favorite venue?
Okay, my favorite place today, and you've probably been there, Barry, has got to be the Matador. Okay, That place has had so many people go through there, and I used to live there. I lived upstairs for 3 years, and Ann Dunn was my landlady, and Diane Young was my neighbor. But the Matador is just, you'd walk into that place, and it was just a whole different feeling. You'd be playing all night. By the time you got to the Matador, the time you got to the Matador, you just like you woke up till 5 o'clock. You know.
Absolutely. I had a band. We used to play, say, at the Soho at Kennedy and Eglinton from 9 till 1.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Kennedy and Eglinton from 9 till 1. Dennis, I'm sure you've sat in with my band at times, and we'd play the Soho from 9 till 1, and then pack up our gear from the Soho and get down to the Matador for 2 and play till 5 a.m. our band.
That's
Man,
it, buddy.
those were some good times, bud.
Oh, they were.
Tired
some
times.
Some of the people you would meet down there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, for sure. I remember one day, Basil, one night, I should say, or I guess it would be day, from 2 till 5 a.m. Basil Donovan from Blue Rodeo got up and played bass with us, and of course, we're going back many, many years, and that was quite a treat, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I actually remember one night.
Go ahead. I
actually remember one night at the Matador, speaking of Basil, and this was just after his stint with Blue Rodeo, and Blue Rodeo started to really take off. And I remember Baz was in there one night, and he was really scared to get up on stage because he told me, he says, he didn't know how the people would accept him from being a local guy, you know, and just playing the local bars to all of a sudden being, quote unquote, a superstar. And I told Baz, I said, don't worry about it, buddy. We've got your back. You just get up on that stage and show them why you got to where you are.
Absolutely. He's a very shy guy indeed. And I've talked to him a few times recently, and he's just an amazing guy. So, he was wonderful to get up on stage and play. And like getting back to the Matador, Anne was amazing. Charmaine was amazing. What a time we had back in those days.
No, it was
the good old days.
The thing is, you'll never find another place like that again.
Absolutely not. I remember all the police used to go in there after hours, right? Cops.
Oh,
the
sure.
Cops would come in and hang out. But like you said, Dennis, every name you can imagine in Toronto was in there.
Yep.
Absolutely. Wolf, we want to play another one of your songs, bud. This one's called Bottle on the Bar. You wrote this one too as well.
Yes, I did. I sure did.
Yeah, you write some great country songs, my friend. Folks, I have Wolfe Milestone and Dennis Brunet on the show here this evening, this House of Musicians radio show. And right now, I'd like to play another one of Wolfe's songs called Bottle on the Bar. And then, Wolfe, when we come back, we'll talk about how you created that song and the meaning of it and all, and who's playing on it and whatnot. All right?
You betcha.
Absolutely. It's great to have you both on the show here tonight, folks. Like I said, I have Wolfe Milestone, Dennis Brunet on the show this evening, and we are going to listen to one of Wolfe's song called Bottle on the Bar on this House of Musicians radio show right here on Reality Radio 101.
Noisy people all around smoking cigarettes and dope. I ordered myself another round trying to build up some hope. The bottle on the bar was the only friend I had, and if it was ever gone I'd be rather sad. I've been told a lot of times that a bottle wouldn't go far, but it never did go empty, that bottle on the bar. Yeah, I put in 8 hours a day like most other guys, drinking coffee on my break spot. At work I was rather shy. The bottle on the bar was the only friend I had, and if it was ever gone I'd be rather sad. Now I've been told a lot of times that a bottle wouldn't go far, but it never did go empty, that bottle on the bar. With no family or close friends, but with lots of bills I owe, spending my pay at Charlie's place by the time I was on my way. The bottle on the bar was the only friend I had. If it was ever gone, I'd be rather sad. Now I've been told a lot of times that a bottle would go far, but it never did go empty, that bottle on the bar. No, it never did go empty, that bottle on the bar.
Hey, folks, welcome back. We have Wolfe Milestone and Dennis Brunet on the show tonight. A couple of country crooners here, and what a great song that is, Wolf, Bottle on the Bar. Let's talk about that for a bit, how it came to be, and where you recorded it and whatnot.
You betcha. We were playing up at Northern Ontario at the Maple Leaf Tavern. Everybody played there. That's where Stompin' Tom got his big debut, right? And that's where Shania Twain as well, up in Timmins. Anyways, we finished doing that set. I remember coming down to the bar, went to get myself a beer, and I heard this guy talking about different things, about things in life, and he says, that bottle in the bar is the only friend I have, and, my girl got me, and this and that, and I went, holy Christ, that's a hook line. So later that night, after we quit, I went back to my room, and I had this melody in my mind, and eventually by the morning came around, which is about 4 in the morning, I had that song all written down and everything. It just hit me. The bottle on the bar was the only friend I had. If it was ever gone, I'd never be sad.
It's amazing how songs can just come out of nowhere. I mean, I think I've had a couple, woke up in the morning and had a song in my head and went, wow, that's a great song. It's just amazing how they can just fall out of the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know where they're going to come from, Barry.
That's for sure. And what a great song that is. Guys, I have a segment in the show that I like to call, well, Gary, what do you think?
And you know what? These guys, you know what, gentlemen, honestly, those songs are so commercial. And in today's realm of music, if you're going to pike anyone's interest in the industry, any A&R, anybody of that nature, it has to be sellable. And the bottom line is, these songs are written so commercial. I consider it real country, the way country was, the way country should be, not the modern country kind of rock stuff. And that songs are put together amazingly well. The production is phenomenal. And, guys, I wish you the best of luck. I would love to see you live when this COVID thing is over with. And I wish you the best. You guys are very talented. And more importantly, you really seem like you're really good gentlemen. So congratulations, and I hope you do well.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Gary, tell them your band is not a country band, Gary, but by all means, tell them who you opened up for at one time.
Well, you talk about Merritt Mountain Music Fest. Have you got, in 2006, we were an opening act, one of them, for Big and Rich.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and, that was when they had their hit out, what's that?
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
That's correct. And we're a pop rock band, and we can go, we're not really, really heavy, but we're more pop rock mainstream kind of stuff. And there were several bands opening up for those guys on different stages, and we were one of them.
Wow. Was that at Merritt Mountain Fest?
Merritt Mountain Festival in 2006.
Wow. I was there.
Okay, well then, we were on one of the stages. I think we were on, there's the A stage, the big stage, if you recall, and then off to a field there was B stage. And then there was a C stage. That's right.
And then the saloon stage.
That's correct. And we were on,
wow.
Yeah. So anyways, I know Merritt Mountain Music Festival. And by the way, I don't believe they're having that anymore. They stopped that.
No, Yeah, they canceled it, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a phenomenal thing because it was not only for great music, but it was also for great people that wanted to camp, meet people. You know, the vending was superb. The campgrounds were really cool, and it was a wonderful time.
Oh yeah, and the guy two of the guys that ran it there, one of them had passed on.
Which one?
That was so sad.
Do you remember his name? Do you remember his name? Because I'm trying to remember the gentleman that booked us, and he was a lover of horse racing.
Yeah, that was Don Adams.
Don Adams, yes. Is he didn't pass away, did he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I know he was a great guy, man. That was a shock.
And I hate to talk about this on your show, but there's a lot of people listening that may be interested in this.
Sure.
But Dom, when did he pass?
Almost 6 years ago now.
Oh my goodness! I remember we were in town and I sat with him for a while at one of the pubs. He had a band he was working with called Diesel. And
yeah,
you remember them? Yeah. And we were sitting there talking, and he tried to get me interested in horse racing or horses, thoroughbred horses or something.
It sounds like Don.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm shocked.
Hey, what a small world, guys. Hey, there you go. You guys were both at the same festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. You know, listen, hey Gary. Now the following year, that I played there again. And it was a great time. As a matter of fact, I opened for Aaron Burchett then.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time, and I haven't kept track of anyone or anything about that, but I heard a few years after that it closed down, and I don't know why. I think it was more financial because the backing, that type of thing.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
Yeah, but wow. Good.
But yeah, what a small world, Gary. Well,
yeah, for sure.
We crossed paths.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Barry, I'll take it back to you, sir. It's your show.
Hey, I'm glad you guys. I'm just happy you guys are happy, having a good time. That's great.
Yeah.
Small world.
Small world. It's amazing. So good for you guys playing that festival. That sounded like an amazing time. Wolf, what do you have on the go right now? What are you working on? What are you doing, buddy?
Well, I want to go back in the studio again, and I've got about 10 more songs that I want to get out, and Dennis Kahn's going to be playing on it, as well as Bella Blanc, and some guy named Dennis Brunet. Who? and my CDs are available at this Newfoundland store in Brampton. It's called Freezerland, and my CDs are there along with T-shirts, and if you're lucky, I might show up and sign an autograph for you.
There you go. Well, Wolfie, what an honor to have you on the show, man. I mean, you have a long, extensive career. You make a lot of people happy with the songs that you write. It's a pleasure to have you on. Dennis, what do you have on the go, my friend?
Well, as I said before, I'm just doing a lot of remastering and remixing of a lot of stuff that I've done before. And the big project that I have, and unfortunately got put aside, is I've got the Johnny Loveson Live at the Elmo Combo 3 CD package that's being worked on.
That is super.
Yep.
That is super. And you have all those recordings that you're mastering, correct?
Yeah, I have them all. We did 5 nights downstairs at the Elmo Combo in 1990, and I took them all. I picked out the best ones, and it's basically a 3 CD set, because you can't put Johnny Loveson on one CD. There's just too much music in there.
Right, for sure. What a great guy.
And I kept a lot of stuff with Johnny's talking and his little antics between the songs and everything. And I think it's a good representation of what Johnny sounded like when he played in a bar, and he just let go of everything.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you're working on that and keeping yourself busy. And Dennis, my old friend, it's been so long since we talked. We've known each other for many, 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 many years. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend.
Anytime, Barry. Anytime. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, my friend. And Wolfie, to you too. Wolf, thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to follow your progress. I'm going to promote both of you guys and what you guys are doing in this House of Musicians and Facebook. On Facebook, I'm going to keep promoting what you guys are doing. And again, to both of you, thank you so much for being on the show.
Not a problem.
And I want to thank you. And I want to thank you and Gary as well, because without you guys, we wouldn't be out there without you guys. And thank you again very much.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being on the show. And to the listener, I say thank you for being here. Always dance and sing, and let the music bring your soul to the surface for all the world to see. Until next time, have a shuffle your feet kind of week, and good night. You have been listening to this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to This House of Musicians with your host, singer-songwriter, and founder of the band, Inner City Outlaws, the Baritone Bear, Barry Smith, right here on Reality Radio 101.
We're headed at 90K over the two-lane causeway. We'll go left, it's gonna be a classy day. Kickstands down, head on over to the band stage. Kick back and listen to the band play. Whoa, whoa, let's take a ride today.